Welcome friends to another r/am I the jerk video. I hope I'm not a jerk for asking, but could you hit those like and subscribe buttons down below? That said, our first story of the day is by Anna34757. Am I the jerk for yelling at my fiance and calling him insecure after he deleted my work project to get back at me for not going with him to his friend's birthday party? My fiance's best friend's birthday party was yesterday. My fiance wanted me to go with him, but I apologized and said I couldn't because I had to finish a work project in the evening and barely had time. He said it was unacceptable since the party was held at a prestigious restaurant and all his friends were going to bring their partners. He insisted I go with him, but I told him that if I don't complete this project soon, I'll lose a potential promotion next month and someone else will take my place. He just looked at me and said, "I just hope it'll be worth it," then stormed out. I called him, but he hung up. I got done with my project and went to take a shower. I got out and found my fiance in the living room, refusing to speak to me after I asked about the party. I went upstairs to finalize my project, but found out that my entire laptop has been reset. Everything got wiped, including my projects. My heart sank. I asked my fiance if he was behind this, and he just looked at me and said, "Now we're even," after I refused to come with him to the party, and embarrassed him by forcing him to go alone and get weird looks and questions from everyone. I started yelling at him and called him insecure to care about his public image and looks and getting even just because I had to work. He said I contributed to this outcome and should have gone with him. Now I had to start all over again. We started exchanging words and he told me to stop saying he's insecure and petty. He checked into a hotel and has been staying there constantly texting about how hurt he was that he had to hear me call him insecure and refusing to have any consideration for him. He said that I did make him look bad when I refused to come with him and he was hurt by that. I think it's pretty non-controversial to say that OP is not the jerk in the situation. Would you guys agree with me that having somebody, even a fiance, in this situation do this to you is more than reason enough to just get out of that relationship? Could it be salvaged? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Our next story is by amithejerk. Am I the jerk for letting my wife have her bank account constantly overdrawn when I'm in the black? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Wife states I'm the jerk because she had no money to buy anything to eat because she was at her overdraft limit. She says that it's wrong that my account is in credit, although she doesn't know by how much, while she's struggling with bills and buying things my daughter needs. We've been together 18 years and have a 13-year-old daughter. Our finances have never been combined, although she has always wanted this. I accept she can only work part-time because she's caring for her terminally ill mother and because she does all the childcare for our daughter. Although I feel like she could work full-time and get childcare. And although she pays a few of the major household bills, she says I'm the jerk because it's me who buys the food and I didn't check there was stuff there for them when I went to work. I feel if she knew she needed stuff, she should have told me. But she says it's humiliating and calls me a slave owner who is deluded he's kind and benevolent. I take her and my daughter out for dinner once a week and they can choose anything they want. But my wife throws this up in my face, saying she doesn't have the freedom to take even herself out and is reliant on my charity. She's now saying she wants to leave me because all her friends go on trips with friends or their partners, but she doesn't have the money to go anywhere and I don't take her anywhere. I go out every Saturday night and leave her babysitting. We hook up about 3 times a year over the last 15 or 16 years, and she would like it more, but though it's something we really enjoy when I'm in the mood, I feel this is not the issue she makes it out to be. Her main point is that I'm the jerk for not giving her access to money without question when she needs it via a joint bank account or combined incomes, then half of what is left after bills. She has no hobbies except saving animals, spending time with her sister, cooking and doing crafts with our daughter. She doesn't drink or smoke. I do both, but I work hard 5 days a week, and I know the value of good quality things. I bought my daughter expensive new school shoes last week when I was buying myself new shoes for myself. And I bought my wife new shoes for her work too. She's a nurse. But my wife said that she buys all our daughter's Christmas and birthday gifts, then she feels entitled to these things from me as they're essentials. She could work full-time and afford anything she wants, and I guess there's resentment from me. She told me she would go back to work full-time when our daughter went to school, but only went back full-time when our daughter was 11, and then only for a year because she's now back to part-time because she's caring for her dying mom. Am I the jerk? Forgive me for saying this, but to me it feels like there's just not much love going on here. To me, it feels like the way OP's treating this is more like a living arrangement or something like that. Like a codependency more so than a relationship with a wife and daughter. Like as if everything going on here is just all about the finances, all about the numbers. I'm gonna say OP's probably the jerk in the situation because I feel like the energy and intentions being expressed here just come off as cold and uncaring. When their wife and daughter want something, or something comes up where it could be nice to get them stuff, OP sees it as them like ragging or begging for stuff they don't deserve, rather than just doing something nice for your family. I'm not saying to spend your money recklessly, but like, if paying for your wife to go on vacation or paying for Christmas and birthday gifts is just something that like they're not entitled to, apparently, like it's just weird. It feels like OP's robotic to them. This next story is by WarmArt378. Am I the jerk for kicking my fiance out of the house for letting my snake loose outside? I, 27-year-old male, have always been an animal lover. I love snakes, tarantulas, scorpions, lizards, geckos, dogs, cats. When I moved out of my parents' house and into my townhome, I decided to adopt a ball python. She's very docile and loves to be held. I set her tank up in one of the rooms downstairs. When my fiance, 28-year-old female, and I decided that we were ready to move in together, I slowly introduced her to the snake. She thought the snake was really cool and even held her a few times. A few months ago, her friends came over, and ever since, she's been asking me to find a new home for the snake. I had to travel to another state for work and trusted her to take care of the snake. I was gone for the week, and when I came back, I saw the tank completely gone. I searched all over the house and it was nowhere to be found. I went outside and checked the wooded area behind the townhome and found the tank. The tank was open and no sign of the snake. When my fiance got home, I showed her the tank and told her to pack a suitcase and find another place to stay. Her defense was that I was giving the snake too much attention. Fiance is currently staying with her parents and they think I'm overreacting over an animal. Fiance is upset that I won't talk to her or accept her apology. Am I the jerk for kicking my fiance out of the house for letting my snake loose outside? Absolutely not the jerk. Maybe these people just don't get it because they're out of touch and see a snake as some like worthless, scary creature. But this would be the same exact thing as if they put your favorite dog or cat in a carrier, drove it down the road, pulled over on the side of the road, opened the carrier, got back in that car and drove away. In my books, OP's hopefully ex-fiance is a really messed up person. Our next story is by 7199177710. Am I the jerk for dropping him and his daughter off at a rental car place states away from home? Long story short, I, 27-year-old female, started seeing 44-year-old Dave 3 years ago. I have 2 sons, 9 and 6. He has 1 daughter, Anne, 17. I booked a road trip for me and my sons roughly 3 months ago. A road trip consisting of roughly 26 hours worth of driving with stops in between. This is the first time I've ever been financially able to do much of anything with my children, so I went all out. Planned to stop at every place they had ever asked me to go, basically. I was beyond excited to surprise them with this trip. We got home 4 nights ago. A week before leaving, my Dave decides he wants to go with me and bring Anne as a bonding experience. We don't live together, and Anne's never liked me because I'm boring. She said this to my face. So Dave thinks it would be good. I didn't really want either of them to go, but thought, what the heck, why not? This could be good for us. Boy, was I freaking wrong. From the moment Anne got into my vehicle, she started complaining about absolutely everything. It was too crowded, too loud, we were taking too many stops. The boys were too annoying and need to quiet the freak down and chill out. We get a hotel 9 hours in, Pennsylvania. It's around 3 p.m. at this point. Dave asks if he can take a drive with Anne because she was getting irritated with the kids. I told him he could if he makes it quick because I needed to go get dinner supplies. 3 hours later, he shows back up. Him and Anne went out to eat. So I make a comment saying, "You didn't think we wanted to eat too?" And Anne snaps back with, "I don't think we asked." After comments like this for days, I finally snapped. My boys are now saying they just want to go home because several times Dave told my kids to be quiet because of his kids' comfortability. At this point, I haven't done anything with my kids because the queen would have a fit if we pulled off anywhere, and Dave at this point basically refused to let me drive despite me arguing in my car. So I snapped, told him to pull the freak over. When he finally does, I drive to the nearest car rental and tell them to get the freak out of my car. Dave and Anne both start flipping out. Anne saying she isn't going to get in a car that has bed bugs. Dave saying he didn't want to take separate vehicles and didn't have enough money for a rental because the queen spent over $1,500 in 4 days. So I say, I don't believe I freaking asked, and take off. They were close to 800 miles from home. It took them 4 days to get home due to lack of money and needing to borrow. I'm being told I'm a selfish runt. Am I the jerk? Honestly, I think OP's not the jerk, and I get it. You go on the vacation of your dreams and it just gets totally ruined and saddled down by some totally ungrateful kid, and their father, who you've been with for years, is just totally submitting to it. You get to a point where you're like, oh my god, I get it, you're ungrateful for everything in my entire existence. Just get out and leave me alone so we can enjoy this trip. This next story is by ThrowRA59970. Am I the jerk for refusing to speak to my husband until he changed the name he put on our son's birth certificate? After waiting for 5 years, I finally got pregnant with my son. There was so much fuss about the name choice because my in-laws wanted to use my deceased brother-in-law's name. My husband sided with them and insisted we go with it, but seeing their obsession with it, I refused. My husband then sat with me and we agreed on a name we both chose. When I was at the hospital, I had dealt with some complications, and I had to extend my stay since I had to get a blood transfusion as well. My husband handled paperwork. However, when we received the birth certificate, I discovered that he put brother-in-law's name and not the one we picked. I lost it and had a breakdown. Then I shut down completely. I stopped talking to him after telling him that I won't speak to him till he changes the name. He kept saying good riddance at first, but slowly started complaining about how my silence has been wearing him down. Days went by, and now he's turned to full-on begging me to speak to him over and over. He said he had to do this, otherwise his family were going to shun him. He handed me a paper with all the pros of keeping this name, explaining that our son will be the golden grandchild, and my in-laws will favor him over the other grandchildren because of his name. Said he'll get endless privileges like college fund, car, inheritance, and will be loved unconditionally because he has his uncle's name. But I don't want my son to be brother-in-law's surrogate. It's sad because my husband's always seeked his family's approval, but brother-in-law was the favorite. He offered me endless nicknames, second middle name choices, but I wasn't having it. Eventually, he broke down crying last night, calling me stubborn and difficult. Also called me selfish, robbing our son of a good life and good future provided by his grandparents, and said I was driving him crazy with my silence. But I feel like this is too serious to let go. I'm just doing it for my son. Am I wrong for choosing this as my hill to die on? I think OP's definitely not the jerk. They agreed that they were going to name their kid a certain name. They went back on that. This isn't a sorry I made the executive decision to put pineapple on this pizza level of apology. You went and named your kid something entirely different when you had agreed with OP that you were going to name them something you both came up with. It's pretty unbelievable. And our final story of the day is by Throwaway350965. Am I the jerk for evicting my sister and her daughters after they hid my wife's wig and embarrassed her? First off, I want to start by mentioning that my wife is a cancer patient. She unfortunately started losing her hair due to chemotherapy, and she's been incredibly insecure about it, her lack of hair in particular. She got a wig and started wearing it. I don't mind it. I 100% support her since she only wears it around family and friends. My sister lost her apartment after a messy divorce and moved in with her twin daughters, 16, almost a month ago. Things have been going well except my niece's constant remarks about my wife's wig. They got so hung up on it and kept asking lots of questions about it. They asked to take turns trying it on, suggested they straighten it with a straightener and so on, which was exhausting. They even pressured to see her without it, but my wife was uncomfortable and refused. Yesterday, I got home and found that my wife was locking herself in the bedroom and crying. I asked what happened, She told me she woke up and didn't find her wig, then discovered my nieces took it and hid them and urged her to come out so they could see her without it. My wife repeatedly asked them to give it back, but they started laughing and recording. My wife had to lock the door and keep a distance because they wouldn't stop. I was fuming. I went into the kitchen and confronted them. They acted confused, but I was able to get the wig back. I lashed out, telling them they had humiliated my wife and harassed her by taking away her wig. They said it was just a lighthearted prank, which made me go off on them. My sister got involved and said my wife was just being too sensitive and the girls were just curious to see her without a wig, but she overreacted. I lost it on her too and told her she and my nieces are no longer welcome to stay at my home, and they needed to leave. I later let them know about the eviction since they thought I wasn't serious, and they started crying, begging that I let it go. But my wife is no longer comfortable around them after what they did. My sister called our elderly dad and he begged that I let them stay and insisted my nieces were just acting like typical teenagers. He offered to speak to my wife, but I declined. They've been begging that I change my mind, but I kept refusing. Am I the jerk? I think OP's definitely not the jerk. Notice that they kept begging for them to let it go. That even when being faced with the possibility of losing their living situation, they couldn't muster up the ability to apologize for it. They have no idea of the pain and suffering they're causing, and they have zero remorse for it. You don't need those people around. Hopefully later they can grow up and realize how awful they were treating this person who's going through chemotherapy. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.